Hi friends, welcome to another tutorial for Color Snack Sunday. Today we'll be sketching a pumpkin. So before we start, I'm just barely adding a little bit of water to wet the paper. So I'm basically using like a wet brush, not squeezing really any water on here, so that's like has like a nice glisten. So it's barely wet. So we'll be working with the wet on wet technique and sketching this pumpkin. So to start, think of it as, the pumpkin shape is composed out of many C shapes, C curves like this. So I'm grabbing some of this lighter orange. By the way, you can get this color by mixing it with, a deeper orange or a red with yellow. Then adding in these curves, and then typically the front of the pumpkin is going to be composed out of this kind of like oval shape, or two curves. So keep adding. I'm going to add some of this darker orange. I'm going to go over these lines again. So the fact that it's bleeding is exactly what we want it to happen. I'm going to add some green just for our little stem here. Alright, I'm going to go back and work on this pumpkin. So I'm going to add more of these darker lines. I'm going to wipe that off and I'm going to start just blending them, filling in the entire shape. And don't worry if this isn't coming out perfect. As you can see, my sketch is kind of pretty spread out, and it's bleeding, but I'm still able to control these lines a little bit. And you can keep adding, adding little lines with your darker reds or oranges, so that you can then use that to blend that into the shape, and it creates like a nice shadow on it, so it makes our sketch more interesting. And remember, no pumpkin is ever perfect. Pumpkins are imperfect, just like us. I am Volta, and this is very deep. You can even add some, add these lines and leave them in like this, because just, makes this sketch more interesting that way. I'm gonna go back in and add a little bit more green here to make the stem look more pronounced. And as my last step, so I'm looking here that my sketch is pretty much dry. The water outside of it is certainly dry, but I'm gonna add, so I'm using a wet brush and adding just a little bit of water all around it. And I'm gonna go in with this dark blue and just add like a fun little background. The wet on wet techniques allows, these colors to spread out, and it makes it look super cool and fun. It has this playful look to it. So if the colors are bleeding into each other, you can always correct this by, removing this color with your wet and clean brush. You can kind of correct this a little bit. And you see that here it bled into my pumpkin, so I'm carefully just removing that with a clean brush and then wiping that off on a paper towel. And one last thing, I'm gonna add, less water, more pigment, just to add a little shadow line to the stem. And our pumpkin is ready, so you could, again, send this to a friend, send your pumpkin to a friend just to say hello or happy Halloween or something. Or just sketch this in your sketchbook and enjoy it. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those post notifications so that you are notified when I upload my next videos. Thank you. Have a great and creative day.